You probably think your cat wants fancy toys, expensive cat trees, or some high-tech gadget you saw online, but the truth is a lot simpler than that. Most cats aren't looking for complicated entertainment. What they really care about are small, quiet moments that make them feel safe and understood, the kind of little gestures most owners barely notice. To a cat, those tiny things mean everything. They build trust, comfort, and a quiet bond that grows stronger over time. And the funny thing is, most cat owners never realize how powerful these small actions are. Once you start noticing them, you begin to see your cat in a completely different way. One evening, imagine sitting on the couch while your cat watches you from across the room. She's not moving, just staring quietly. A lot of people would think the cat is judging them, but in the world of cats, eye contact carries a deeper meaning. A hard stare can feel like pressure or a challenge, which is why cats rarely look strangers directly in the eyes. But sometimes your cat does something different. She slowly closes her eyes and opens them again. That soft, slow blink is her way of saying she feels safe around you. It's the cat version of a smile. If you gently blink back without staring too intensely, you're speaking her language. Sometimes after that small exchange, she might walk over, sit beside you, or rub her cheek against your hand as if confirming that the connection between you is real. Later that day, you might notice her perched on the top of a cabinet or sitting proudly on the highest shelf in the room. At first it may look random, but cats love being above everything else. Height gives them a sense of control over their surroundings. From up there, she can see who walks into the room, hear every little movement in the house, and watch the world unfold beneath her. It's a natural instinct that comes from their wild ancestors. When something stressful happens, like guests arriving or loud noises in the house, that high spot becomes her safe observation post. Instead of hiding in a dark corner, she simply sits above it all, calmly watching. Just giving your cat a place like that can make her feel more confident and less anxious in everyday life. When she eventually jumps down and walks over to you, she might gently push her cheek into your hand or bump your forehead with hers. That's not just a random show of affection. Cats are very intentional with those movements. They're guiding your hand to the places they enjoy being touched the most. Around their cheeks, chin, and the base of their head are scent glands that release their personal scent. When you pet her there, it feels pleasant for her, but it also marks you as someone familiar and safe. If you watch closely, you'll see her muscles relax, her eyes slowly close, and her purring deepen into a soft, steady rhythm. It's the sign of a cat that feels completely comfortable. Sometimes later that night, she might curl up on the bed near your feet or settle beside you while you rest. For any animal, sleep is the most vulnerable state. When a cat chooses to sleep next to someone, it's a powerful sign of trust. She can hear your breathing, feel the warmth of your body, and recognize your scent all around her. Those familiar signals tell her she's safe enough to fully relax. Some cats choose the end of the bed, others prefer the edge of the pillow, but the meaning is always the same. They trust you. Simply allowing that quiet closeness without disturbing them builds a stronger bond than constant attention ever could. Even small daily moments matter more than people realize. For example, when your cat eats, she may pause every few bites to look around the room. That behavior comes from ancient instincts. In the wild, eating means letting your guard down, and that can be risky. But if you calmly sit nearby without interrupting her, your presence can actually make her feel safer. She begins to eat slower and more comfortably because in her mind, someone is watching the environment while she focuses on her meal. It's a simple form of reassurance that many owners overlook. Of course, cats also need moments when they want to be left alone. Sometimes a cat who was just sitting beside you will suddenly walk away or climb onto a high shelf. It doesn't mean she's upset with you. Cats simply need space to recharge. Their senses are always working, always absorbing sounds, movement, and touch. When they step away, they're restoring their balance, respecting that moment of independence. Tells your cat that her boundaries matter, and interestingly enough, cats who feel free to leave usually return much sooner because they know they're not being forced into contact. Visitors can be another stressful situation for cats. When New people enter the home, everything changes for them. The air smells different, voices sound unfamiliar, and the energy of the room shifts. Some owners immediately pick up their cat to show her to guests, but for the cat, this removes her ability to control the situation. She can't observe from a safe distance or decide when to approach, when cats are allowed to watch guests from a high place or from another room first. They slowly gather information about the situation. Once they feel comfortable, they might come closer on their own, sniffing curiously and deciding whether the new person is safe. That choice makes all the difference. During quiet afternoons, one of your cat's favorite places might be a simple, sunny window. When a beam of sunlight falls across the floor or windowsill, she stretches out right in the middle of it, soaking in the warmth. Sunlight relaxes her muscles and slows her breathing, creating a deep sense of calm from that window. She might watch birds flying past, leaves swaying in the wind, or people walking by outside. It's like a peaceful show that keeps her mind gently engaged without overwhelming her senses. And then there's the little ritual that happens when you leave the house. Cats pay close attention to routines, the sound of keys, the movement of shoes, grabbing your bag. All of these signals tell your cat you're about to leave. If you suddenly walk out without a word, it can feel abrupt to her. But if you pause for a moment and softly say her name before heading out the door, that simple habit becomes part of a predictable routine. Over time, she learns the pattern. You say goodbye, you leave, and eventually you return. For a cat, that predictable rhythm creates a sense of stability that makes your absence easier to accept. When you step back and look at all these moments together, you start to realize something important. Cats don't measure love through big gestures or expensive toys. Their world is built from quiet signals, routines, and tiny acts of respect. A slow blink across the room, a warm spot by the window, a peaceful place to watch the house from above. These are the things that make them feel safe. And when a cat feels safe, she begins to trust you in ways that are subtle but incredibly meaningful. Over time, those small moments quietly turn into a bond that feels almost unspoken, yet deeply understood by both of you.